What's up everyone, welcome back to Blue Chip Prospect for the first top 10 of the year, and today we are talking shooters. In this draft, I think we have a good mix of high-end snipers and guys who can finish around the net, but let's be real, we don't have any kind of Cole Eiserman level shot in this class, at least not in my opinion. But as always, I've got a few honorable mentions before we jump to the main list, and there are quite a few smaller or even very small players who can absolutely rip it. Guys like Philippe Veilleux, who scored 40 goals in the QMJHL this year, or even Cameron Schmidt, who also hit 40 in the WHL. Both have big time scoring upside, but at 5'9" and 5'7", they've got to actually make it to the NHL first before we project them as top 10 scorer in this draft class. They're not quite in that Cole Caulfield or Alex DeBrincat tier of extraordinary small snipers. If you watch tape from Caulfield or DeBrincat in their draft year, it's really not that close actually. But that doesn't mean that Veilleux and Schmidt can't get there, it just makes the projection just way harder. And then you've got some bigger guys with strong scoring tools like Nathan Bem and Riker Lee, Brady Marton, Jacobish Wozniak, and even some longer shots like Daniel Prokhorov, who's got a cannon of a shot. And then there's also players deeper in the draft like Cooper Simpson and Shamar Moses. They're still a long way from the NHL, but the finishing talent is very real. But anyway, let's get into the top 10 right now. And at number 10, we got Colin Putter. Ben Putter, it might not be the flashiest name on this list, but he's here for a reason. He's got one of the best skating stride in the entire draft. He's explosive, he's dynamic, and he's built for offense, and that alone gives him goal scoring upside. He scored 13 times in 35 NCAA games this season, and he's not doing it just by camping in the crease. His goals came off the rush and through speed and around the net, so he understands his skill set and he uses it to his advantage. Putter's shot is probably right on that edge between above average and high end in my opinion. He's not the type to overpower goalies from the outside, but give him even half a step on a defender and he will absolutely rip it. His catch and release is smooth, especially off the rush, and he's got that confidence to shoot in stride and from in tight when he can actually get there. That's the main issue, I would say. Combine that with his speed and ability to turn defenders around, and you've got a player who can actually generate his own chances without needing too much help. The big thing with Potter is projection. He's already scoring at the college level with tools that are built for the NHL, but if the finishing touch and the inside drive improves even a little bit, he could turn into a really dangerous top 6 winger who drive plays and adds offense to his team. And at number 9, we got James Hagens, and Hagens isn't a pure sniper by any means, but don't let that fool you. He's one of the smartest offensive player in this draft, and his goal scoring comes from his elite hockey sense. He finished with 11 goals in 37 games this season, which might not jump off the page at all, but he's creating chances constantly and he knows exactly where to be on the ice at all time. Hagens scored in ways that are sustainable for the NHL. He finds soft spots in defensive coverage. He times his route perfectly. He finished with a quick, compact release. His shot isn't overpowering, but it's accurate and it comes off of his stick very quick. It's a great combination of timing, quick touch, offensive feel, and his shot that project him as a 20-plus goal scorer at the next level. He's probably not a 40-goal guy, but his scoring will come from his brain and instinct, and that gives him a lot of runway to produce in the NHL. And at number 8, we got Lynden Lakovic, and Lakovic brings a rare mix of size, skill, and shot and speed. He scored 27 goals in 47 games this year and made it look pretty easy. He has legit skills and a high-end shot, and when he gets a step on defenders, it's basically game over. What stands out is how confidently he attacks defenders one-on-one and doesn't just wait for chances to be created for him. He creates them himself using his skill set. His wrist shot is heavy and he's got a developing nose for the net. Lakovic can shoot off both feet and he loves to pull it in and fire through traffic. He's also improving at driving the middle of the ice, which will give him more dangerous looks than someone always playing on the perimeter. He has 8 goals in the low slot and 11 between the dots, so it's not just a volume thing, he's finishing in quality areas. And on top of that, his straight line speed is very solid, especially for a guy of his size. Once he gets moving, it's really hard to knock him off the puck, and he'll use his body to shield defenders while loading up stop his release. If the pace of his game keeps trending up and he adds a power element to his game, he could be a really fun power scoring winger at the next level. And at number 7, we got Roger McQueen, and it's a shame that McQueen missed most of the year because in the 20 games that he played, including the playoff, he showed legit top 10 goal scoring potential. He put up 11 goals in that short stretch and looked every bit like a player who could have been higher on this list with a full season. He's 6'5", has great touch around the net and plays with a ton of poise. What makes McQueen goal scoring interesting is how well he sees the ice for a big man. He doesn't just stand in front of the net and wait for rebounds. He finds seams, he reads plays developing, he gets himself into high danger areas. His shot is in the average to above average range in my opinion, but he gets it off quickly and he doesn't need to wind up to generate power. Add in the hockey sense and you've got a guy who can actually really be an efficient finisher. He scores in stride, he can score off the cycle, and even in transition. There's still a bit of refinement needed, but when you're 6'5" with this kind of touch and brain, the upside is absolutely real. He might not look like a classic sniper, but the tools are absolutely there. And at number 6, we got Carter Bear, and Carter Bear scores goals the hard way, and a lot of them. He put up 40 goals in just 56 WHL games this season, and a ridiculous 25 of those came from the low slot. That tells you everything that you need to know about him. This guy just lives in the trenches. He gets to the front of the net, battles for space, finds ways to finish. Bear shot is probably in the above average tier, but it plays up because of how relentless he is. He's got a quick release, a strong stick in tight, and no hesitation to crash the crease. He's the type of guy who can score off a rebound or a tip or a sneaky little backhand from in close. He doesn't overcomplicate things. He just gets the puck and put it on net. That's about it. What really sells Bear also is his motor. He never stops working and he's always hunting for second and third chances. You want a guy who's going to bring energy, physicality, and a real scoring touch. Well, this is your guy. He's going to be a pain to play against and a guy who can probably rack up 20 plus goals in the NHL in a top 6 role. And at number 5, we've got Victor Eklins, and Eklins' game is built for the pro level. He scored 19 goals in 42 games in the Allsvenskan this year. His goal profile is also fascinating. He scored 6 times from the low slot and 10 between the dots, and you know that this is high danger areas in the NHL. That's NHL ice basically. He's not a volume shooter, but he's a smart shooter. Eklund waits for the right moment, the right seam, and he brings the puck to the inside and let it rip. His shot is probably just above average, but it's efficient and powerful enough. He doesn't waste chances. He gets inside, scores through traffic, and uses his skating to create separation in tight spaces. That's where he thrives, moving laterally inside the slot and shoot the puck. And speaking of his skating, it's high-end, quick acceleration, great balance, and constant motion. He creates chaos with his legs and cashes in with the quality of his shot. Eklund might not be as flashy as some of the North American scorers, but the way he scores and the level at which he's doing it is super impressive and very translatable to the NHL. And at number 4, we've got Justin Carbonneau, and there aren't many players more fun to watch than Carbonneau this season. The flair, the pace, the hands, the shot. He scored 49 goals in 67 games, including the playoff this season. And what's even crazier is how many of them came from legit danger zone in the NHL. 20 in the low slot, 17 between the dots. So he's not just floating around the outside, he's actually hunting for goals in the inside and around the net. Carbonneau's shot is absolutely high-end. He can beat goalies clean with wrister, snap it home off a one-timer, or walk in and pick corners off a curl. His mechanics are super smooth and he doesn't need a lot of time and space to generate power. He's also great at shooting in motion, especially off the rush or broken plays. And off puck, he's just as dangerous. He reads pressure, slips into soft spots, set up for quick release. Combine that with his hands and skating, and you've got a guy who can create his own looks and finish them in style. He might not be the most complete player on this list, but as a pure scorer, is absolutely deadly. And at number 3, we've got Anton Frondell, and Frondell might not have the most eye-popping totals with 11 goals in 29 Allsvenskan games, but the context does matter. It's a pro league. Even if it's second division league, it's still playing against men, and yet when you watch the tape, his shot just explodes off of his stick. He's got the best one-timer in the draft. There's absolutely no questions about it. Most of his goals came from that mid-slot area, and they come fast. I was a little bit hesitant to put him this this high in this list, as I'm not 100% sold on him, and I might be influenced by other people who have him much higher than I am, but we can't deny the tools. Whether it's on the power play or off a broken play, if Frondell gets the puck on his stick in space, it's probably going in. He also got a knack for jumping on rebounds and second chances, which adds another layer to his scoring. His skating and pace still need to catch up to his shot, but if you're looking for a specialist who can rack up goals from the flank or bumper on the power play, Frondell will be a real weapon for that. And at number 2, and this might come a little bit as a surprise for some of you, it's Porter Martone. Martone just feasts around the net. He scored 41 goals in 63 OHL games, including the playoffs again, and a mind-blowing 29 of them came from the low slot. That's just insane. He plays like a bull, he's strong on the puck, tough to move, always in the right spot to bury chances, and what makes Martone stands out even more is how he combines hockey sense, hands, physicality, and his shot. He's great at reading developing plays, slipping into open eyes, finishing with quick hands and a quick shot. His shot is in that above average to high-end tier in my opinion, especially when he gets close to the net. His catch and release is basically automatic, and he's deadly off rebounds. He doesn't need a clean look to score. If there's traffic, that's absolutely no problem for him. Martone just finds ways to put the puck past goalies. He's got NHL ready habits, and his ability to score inside the dots is something every team in the NHL are going to want. And at number 1, we've got Michael Misa, and Misa is just on another level. He scored 64 goals in 69 OHL games, with 29 of them coming from the low slot and 17 between the dots. That's not just volume, it's volume from the hardest areas of the ice to get to. He's fast, he's aggressive, he's relentless around the net, he wants the puck, and when he gets it, it's going in. His shot is right on that line between above average and high end in my opinion. It's quick, it's accurate, he can shoot from anywhere. What makes it even better is how he uses his speed to create space for his shot. He attacks with pace, cut inside defenders, and uses a deceptive release to score goals. He also has great hands in tight. He can score off the rush and score from the cycle. Also, Misa's compete level is off the chart. He plays with an edge. He has energy. He has swagger. He's the most complete offensive player in the draft, and his scoring touch is a huge part of that. He has top line upside all day long. So that's gonna wrap it up for the top 10. Let me know in the comment what you think. Leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And as always, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.